Well, hi everyone, and welcome back to Study English with Frank. And today we are going to start a brand new series here on our channel, and we're calling it English Expressions. English Expressions. And what that basically means is that in English, like I'm sure every other language, there are creative and unique ways of saying the same thing, only in a different way, using different words or different expressions to just add a little emphasis to what we're saying, or to be more poetic, or just to add a little personality to our speaking. Sometimes if we just say the same thing in the same way all the time, we become a little bit boring to our friends, right? We want to shake things up a little bit and say things in different ways. And today's lesson, we're going to be talking about the phrase, I don't know. If someone asks you a question and you don't really know the answer to it, well, one way would be to say, I don't know. I don't know. But what are some other ways that we can say the same thing in English? What are some English expressions that we can use to communicate the same idea? So when someone asks you a question and you do not know the answer, how do you respond in English? Well, the easiest one is, as we started out, to say, I don't know, or I don't know. But what are some other ways? Let's take a look. One way might be to say, I have no idea. I have no idea. I know it sounds a little bit funny when you're first learning English to say, I have no idea. But basically it's saying the same thing. I just don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Another one is, I have no clue. I have no clue. And that's another creative way of saying just, I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't have the first clue, someone might say, to answer your question. I don't know where to start. I have no clue. Someone might say, I'm not sure. If someone asks you a question and you maybe know the answer, but you don't want to say for sure that you know the answer to that, so you might say, I'm not sure. I am not sure. Another similar answer would be, I'm not certain. I'm not certain the answer to your question. I can't say for sure is another one. I have some ideas. You're kind of implying I could maybe answer your question, but I'm not really sure I have a good answer for that question. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. Another kind of fun answer is, beats me. Beats me. And I know that sounds a little bit funny probably to people who are learning English, because usually beat means to beat somebody up, in a fist fight even. I'm going to beat you up. But another meaning for beats is to beat somebody in a race. Or if you are running a race and someone comes in ahead of you, well, they have beaten you. Or you would say, she beat me in the race. And so what you're basically trying to communicate is that as hard as I try and think about a good answer for that, I just can't come up with one. And so I'm beaten. You have asked me a question that I just can't answer. I usually have the answer for things, but for this one, you've beat me, or it beats me. The answer to this question it beats me. Beats me. Let's see. What else do we have here? I'm unaware of that. Someone asks you a question, I'm unaware of that. I don't know anything about that is what you're really saying. Can't help you. I just don't know that. I'm unaware of any type of answer that I could give you for that. I'm unaware of that. Another fun answer that you might use when somebody asks you a question and you just don't know is, I've been wondering the same thing. I've been wondering the same thing. And it kind of lets your friend know that they've asked you a good question that you've also wondered about yourself, the answer to that question. But it also at the same time lets them know that you don't know a good answer to that. I've been also struggling to understand this myself. I just don't know. I've been wondering the same thing. Now, some people have a difficult time pronouncing wondering, because there's another English word that is very close to it, wandering. And wandering means walking aimlessly without any real direction or purpose. One might say, I have been wandering around in the forest. I have been wandering around in the desert. Someone might even say, I've been wondering why I have been wandering. Do you hear the difference? It's very close. But here in this instance, we're saying wondering. I've been wondering the same thing. Here's another one. If you ask an English-speaking person a question and they don't know the answer to that, they might just, who knows? Like they're saying, the question that you've asked me is so difficult. Does anybody really know the answer to that? Some questions that people ask might be so difficult, like the mysteries of life, the mysteries of the universe. A friend might ask you one of these big philosophical questions, and a good response to that might be, who knows? Who knows? And another answer very similar to that would be, only God knows the answer to that. Only God knows the answer to that. All right, well, I believe that does it for our lesson today. I hope that you found it to be a fun lesson and that you've learned some new expressions in English. And if so, go ahead, give it a like. If you know of a friend who's also studying English, maybe you want to share the video. If you haven't already done so, I invite you to subscribe to our channel because we've got a lot of lessons planned for this fall season and a lot of fun ones like this. In our next lesson, we're going to talk about different ways to say thank you. Do you know some other ways to say thank you in English? Well, stick around. Be sure to come back. Subscribe if you haven't. And by the way, I always like to say, if you prefer to study these lessons without the distracting advertising that YouTube puts up, be sure to check out studyenglishwithus.ca and sign up there. You can study without any distracting advertising. So we'll see you next time here at Study English with Frank. So long for today.